Welcome to the bold analysis. We are here in blues. I have Kawira here. She's going to introduce herself so that you know why she's actually in the screen. And I would want to analyze regarding Gachagua's rally and incident in which the president was actually heckled in Meru. But before all that, we are shooting this video in Kisumu, and I'm here with Kawira, not Mwagaza.
No, De Costa.
Yes, Kara De Costa. Kawira has been in charge of Steve since Monday. Remember, I was making productions from Nairobi, so she's one of our team members. She's been here with the other three, but being that she's been in charge of Steve, we wanted us to do an update about this. First, asante sana, yeah, for really taking care of all this. So we spent better part of yesterday at the facility, the Agan Hospital. And Kawira, I just want you to give us an update of how it has been from Monday and all the way to what we got yesterday.
Okay, thank you. For starters, we came here on Monday and we were able to take Stephen to CIR referral on Tuesday. And so when we went there, they had already done some of the tests, but also they took some of the tests. But because they were not able to do the main test, which was MRI, they referred us to Aga Khan. So on Wednesday, we went to Aga Khan and we saw a pediatric neurologist. A pediatric neurologist, he was able to tell us that we are supposed to do an MRI because for him, at first he was suspecting Steve might be experiencing a condition called transverse myelitis, which is could be treated with medication. But then it sent us to do an MRI to confirm what the problem was. So we did an MRI, and yesterday we were sent to the neurosurgeon because the MRI report showed that Steve has a tumor on the spine. And the tumor, unfortunately, the tumor is not growing from outside. It's inside the spine. And when the tumor is inside the spine, the doctors said they are not able to extract it. They cannot remove the tumor. What they can do, what they were telling us maybe they can do, is do a surgical procedure to extract just a small bit so that they are able to determine what type of tumor it is, not to treat,
yes.
To just identify what type of tumor it is. Then, after they have identified the type of tumor, then they can be able now to take us through the other process, which is also very risky because it's inside the spine. Okay. The doctor said there's too much risk in trying to extract even the small one. Okay. And also the treatment process, it won't stop the tumor from growing because it's growing. That's why he is experiencing from toes up to waist, so it's growing up. And if it's not delayed, there is a possibility that it will come up and it might affect the lungs, he might not be able to breathe and all that. So the doctors were saying they want to identify the type of tumor so that they can know whether we are going in the route of chemotherapy or radiotherapy, which is now, we are yet to know the way forward. We are looking forward to getting a second opinion. Yes, with the MRI report, we are looking for a second opinion so that we can know which is the best way to go, because even extracting will be a bit risky for him.
Yes, so as explained to us, and I still also want to say thank you for the quite of support that we've got from even the doctors who are members of this channel that have been calling and giving opinions, this and that. We are still not giving up. We are still receiving more updates on this. And even this afternoon, we have also booked another session with some other senior doctor just around Kisumu here. So we are looking at other corrective measures available, whether they will be, we've really been hearing about the other supplements and the other way. So when we find a route we can take, we'll try to put so that we mitigate the issue so that it doesn't progress. Asante sana. And you know, I'm analyzing siasa ya kwenyu.
Yeah, I know. I saw the video. Yes.
You saw the video?
Yes.
Yeah, so asante sana. She's part of the team that normally does all this work. I was in Nairobi, they were here. Regarding Gachagua rode in Meru town, accompanied by Mithika Linture, and he seemed to be taking the president head-on in what he believes is his way of doing politics. Gachagua reception and the crowds in those areas during that event clearly shows how he's taking it head-on. You can look at the reception, and I would just want us to compare some two video clips here. One, I think, was in, there is a place called Mikindori, and I think the other one was also in Meru town. Let's look at the speech in Meru town, the reception, and the way that crowd was interacting with his message.
Huyu Kasongo anasema atendie mkubwa ya mlima. Ni uongo si uongo? Nani kiongozi wa mlima Kenya? Nani kiongozi wa mlima Kenya? Mimi nimekubali. Harambee! Watu ya nyumbani, si hapa ni nyumbani? Si mimi ni kiana cha Mwale? Si mimi ni kiana cha Mwale? Kasongo aende asiende? Kasongo ni bye bye si bye bye? Ni mwizi si mwizi? Nani aliua Gen Z? Nani aliua watoto wa Gen Z? Nani amepora mali ya Kenya? Nani ameharibu masomo? Nani ameharibu biashara ya miraa? Tupigie duru. Tumpigie duru. Harambee! 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 Haya, harambee! Harambee! Kasongo aende asiende? Nilimwambia asiguse mlima, si ndio? Nilimwambia asiguse nini? Nilimwambia asiguse nini? Aligusa hakugusa? Aligusa mlima?
If you look at that crowd, it's first a crowd of the young people. And I don't know whether saying one term is an easy chorus or people just enjoy saying one term. I always feel it's true that the former deputy president is uncomfortable with his boss, with his former boss, but I don't think that anger has been transferred to the masses. I don't think the masses are dancing because they also hate the president. Probably with them, they have a different beef with the administration, but they've found an interface, and Rigathi brings that interface. And his work is very simple. It's just to remind the masses that you look here, this man is not doing this right, and this man is not doing this right. So that probably is one of the issues that we can clearly see from Rigathi Gachagua on that end. You'll understand these guys are chanting until he has to wait and make them chant fast is when he can pick it up. So it's clearly what the messaging he's getting out there. But then that was in Meru town. Then look at Mikindori.
Mimi nataka kujua watu ya Mikindori. Nimekuja kusikiza ground. Watu ya Mikindori mnasemaje? Hata Mikindori mnasemaje? Semeni Kasongo wasikia Mikindori mnasemaje? Semeni Soprano wasikia mnasemaje? Semeni Amburi wasikia mnasemaje? Hapa ni one term. Hapa Tigania East. Harambe! Harambe! Wewe Ruto! Wewe mwizi! Wewe Kasongo! Wewe Zakayo! Wewe muuaji! Wewe mtu ya kutenga! Wewe adui ya Watigania! Harambe! Kasongo ende asiende! Kasongo ende asiende! Wewe Kasongo unacheza na Wameru! Unacheza na Watigania! Hawa ni dume! Hawa ni watoto ya Maumau! Wewe peleka vita Nairobi! Peleka vita Kisumu! Peleka vita kwa Rusugoi! Usivubutu kuleta vita hapa Tigania! Kasongo ende asiende! Atembea asitembee! Ni mwizi si mwizi? Nani aliua Gen Z? Nani amepora mali ya Kenya? Nani ameharibu uchumi? Nani amefuta Wameru kazi? Nani ameharibu miraa?
Yes, these are different stopovers. And by the way, I made some observation. He made several stopovers in Tigania, Maua, Meru, Makutano, all those places. And kila mahali he was getting a very huge reception. I don't know, and of course stopovers are not mobilized. You drive through a market center, you drive to a place that is crowded, and the crowds mill around the convoy. And probably there is something the masses want to get from the government opposition, from the opposition side. As to whether they are getting the right message and they are going to put it into action is something that is really critical. But you need to know that there was a coincidence that at the time that former deputy president was in Meru, the president was also in Meru yesterday, and the president went to Meru for some dairy cooperation event where he was meeting some dairy farmers. And when previously on Friday night, when the former deputy president held a meeting with some traders there, not really traders, but he held a meeting with he actually held a meeting with media engagement from Meru, and he was so critical. He was asked about why are you coming to Meru at the time the president is going. And by the way, it's very clear that someone is leaking president's itinerary to the Rigathi Gachagua team. I'm a bit convinced someone is leaking the president's itinerary to the Rigathi team. And the reason why it is being leaked is that it was not just a coincidence that the time Rigathi was supposed to go, the president is supposed to go for that event, even Rigathi Gachagua is going. And it's a clear point that Rigathi now sasa yeye ameamua, yeye ataenda, yeye kama tukukasirisha atakukasirisha. And it's going for that. So I looked at, and I wanted to make this comparison because I looked at the 14-minute rally by the head of state in Makutano in Meru. Really, you look at this and you will agree with me that this crowd is not excited.
Watu milioni 23 na SHA imelipa pesa shilingi bilioni 48 tayari kwa mahospitali zetu, ndio tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba matibabu inapatikana na afya isiwe haki ya watu matajiri na watu wako na uwezo. Afya iwe haki ya kila Mkenya bila ya kujali yako na uwezo ama hana uwezo. Meru hoye! Meru hoye! Hebu nione wala wanasema tuendelee ama tuendelee. Munasema tuendelee ama tuendelee? Sikizeni bwana. Tunaelewana? Hii Kenya ni kusukuma na mambo ya maendeleo. Fitina, porojo, siasa ya bure haiwezi kupeleka taifa letu la Kenya mbele. Na ndio sababu mimi nataka niwahakikishie nitasimama kidete. Hawa majamaa hawa nitawashughulikia asubuhi na mapema. These ones.
This crowd is not excited. Yes, the president is trying to drag the Kabila and the tribalist slur in the crowd, but I'm not seeing them tagging along. You can also see that quite a number of them are putting on the white caps, which is for the cooperative. I think that's where the president was going, so probably there was heavy mobilization on that. And it is very clear that things are not right. Now, in this event, there was a nominated member of parliament who tried to say that, remember this is a dairy farming event, and this MP tried to praise the president, saying, the president has reduced the cost of animal feeds, and the attendees said no, and they heckled that MP, and that MP had to leave the podium.
Yeah. Mheshimiwa Muthoni.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency, the Deputy, all protocols observed. Your Excellency, these are milk farmers. And this is the only industry, Your Excellency, where dominantly we have women wakiwa wengi. Akina mama wale wanalima maziwa mkono juu. Piga nduru. Your Excellency, this industry is very key because it is supporting families. And Your Excellency, siku hizi sisi kama akina mama tunakushukuru kwa sababu you have supported the Meru dairy farmers. Umeteremusha chakula, umesaidia kuteremusha bei ya chakula, na tunakushukuru. Bado lakini itateremuka. Your Excellency, bado.
Aya, ni sawa. Nitajibiwa hiyo maneno. Mheshimiwa Malika.
Hiyo itaangaliwa. Si ninawaombea iteremuke. Sawa.
Asante.
Sawa. Tunaomba chakula ya ng'ombe iteremuke ili ukulima wetu wa maziwa isupport families. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I am Dorothy Muthoni Ikiara, nominated MP, Meru County.
Asante, mpigeni makofi.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Deputy President, all the protocols observed, langu.
Because I think the press had become very volatile. So this shows you how the situation is, and the farmers, the other farmers who were talking immediately after the president, they were so keen that they are facing problems in terms of the high prices of animal feeds. Meru is largely Mira and also the dairy farming there, just due to the environment. And they were saying actually 70% of those who are not in Mira, 70% of those who are not in Mira farming are actually in dairy farming. And this is something that brought. So if you look at the reception in Meru for the president's team, there is a clear message that I can clearly see from this. Number one, William Ruto will be in big dilemma to gamble as to take Kindiki as the running mate. So because you can gamble with Kithure Kindiki, but I strongly feel regarding Gachagua team, they have successfully belittled the position of running mate. Yes, they've made it look like it's not a big thing. However, the interesting twist is even in the opposition camp, they're making it like that running mate slot is not important. By the way, any mtu akuweke minister instead ya kuweka running mate, kwa sababu ukikuwa minister, hata ukikuwa fired, you can still come back to active politics. But if someone gives you a running mate now, there is no way you can come back now you want to be a governor or an MCA or an MP or a senator. There is a bit of a challenge to that point. So William Ruto will be in big dilemma as to how to pick who the running mate is, because you are tempted to go to Mount Kenya, but Rigathi and the team are making serious forays, and it's still showing they're not joking. The other second observation I can make is the pitch on housing, SHA, and agriculture and roads. The president makes this speech, he's really making this speech and is putting up his case for the country, that you need to give me second term because of my share of the housing and all that. I'm tempted to believe all this is not gonna sell. All this is not gonna sell. You know, like that was a dairy farm event. You can't tell them about share, you can't tell them about housing. What they want to hear is about animal feeds. And that's what we normally say is the projects we mainstream, national mainstream events, you know, say we have national share, we have housing, we have, but in real sense, Mwananchi has some special needs, you know. And by the way, someone said, Mwananchi is a special need patient. You always go somewhere and anataka tu wheelchair, ataki hiyo kitu unamwambia kubwa. So every citizen has a special need, and that is what is making it difficult. Number two, I've seen the national team, the ruler, saying, apart from saying tribalist and planness, tribalist and planness is a narrative targeting the Rigathi's camp. But then, what you need to question here is, do Rigathi supporters believe he's tribalist? Do they believe? I'm tempted to believe that only those who don't subscribe to him believe that narrative. And of course, with the nature of our politics, it will take, even the president and his team will start looking for tribal friends to mobilize people along those tribal lines. So it is not going to be politically potent. And I think if you look at how Rigathi is going to Meru at the time even the president is going there, he's clearly destroying the president and is taking it head on. This is going to be a key encounter between the two, an interesting one, of course, for the country. But I believe and I still say that, yes, Rigathi has one term and all that messaging, but I think the 2027 conversation goes beyond the slogans. It must also go to the ideology. Remember, the President William Ruto rode on empathy, but he had to hoodwink the country into some bottom-up. So I want to believe that Rigathi and his think tanks, they must start. Yes, they're saying the first agenda is Ruto must go first. But as they tell the country Ruto must go first, they must also be talking to the policies. And that is where the gentleman Matiang'i comes in. We wait and see how this will play. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We'll be making the right decision. So thank you very much.